Graad 8, les 12. Grade 8, this is lesson 12. Jou huiswerk was oefening 8.2 geweest. Dit is vir jou homework. You had to simplify. Wat is hier som te vereenvoudig? Daar's 'n klomp plus en min van 'n klomp veranderlike goeders. Jy sien 'n klomp terme. You see a lot of terms. You can add the like terms if there are. Yes, there are. How do I teach you to identify your like terms? Onderstreep die goed wat dieselfde is. So is daar 'n ander een wat ook 'n x kwadraat y is? Is there another one with a x square y? X square y. Yes, those are like terms. How do I add the like terms? You add their coefficients. Jy tel net die koëffisiënte min 4 en min 1 bymekaar and you'll get minus 5 of what? Still the same thing. Nog steeds x kwadraat y. Nie nou ewe skielik tel eksponente bymekaar nie. Dan het jy xy kwadraat en xy kwadraat. You see that this is the same? Xy squared, xy squared. Don't get confused and think that they're the same. So how many xy squares do I have? Want ek tel bymekaar die gelyksoortige terme se koëffisiënte. You only add the coefficients. Minus 5 and minus 6 is minus 11. Jy tel net die koëffisiënte bymekaar. En dit wat oorbly is ook gelyksoortig. Daar gaan 'n sekere hoeveelheid xy wees. They are like terms. There's going to be a certain amount of xy's. Minus 2 and plus 3 gives me plus 1. Nobody can penalize you for writing that one. Jy mag maar daai een skryf. Maar jy kan niks verder doen nie. Hierdie uitdrukking, this expression has 1, 2, 3 terms. Hy het 3 terme en dis ongelyksoortige terme. Even though they've all got x's and y's, they're not identical, so they are unlike terms. Hulle is ongelyksoortig omdat hulle nie dieselfde presiese veranderlikes het nie. Dis jou antwoord. In an exam, that would have been 3 marks. Goed, selfde ding, jy moet gaan bymekaar tel hierso, maar die vraag het ook gesê, los jou antwoord in dalende magte van x. It must be in descending order of the powers of a. So as ek klaar opgetel het, dan moet dit in dalende magte van a wees. So daarom kan ek sommer maar begin by die a kwadrate. What is like to that one? Die ene met die a kwadraat is gelyksoortig aan hom. So ek het 5a kwadraat en 1a kwadraat wat, 5a. 4 en 1 gee vir my 5a kwadraat. 4 plus 1 gives me 5a squared. Dan tel ek gelyksoortige terme bymekaar en sê, plus 3 en min 4 geef my minus 1a. Write the one, you don't have to write the one. And the last thing that is like are the two constant numbers. Die konstantes sonder veranderlikes is min 2 en min 3 is min 5. Is it already in descending powers of a? Yes, a to the 2, a to the 1, a to the nothing, because there is nothing there. If you wanted to write a to the 0, it's right, because it is times with 1. That's a mess. How many terms in the answer? Hoeveel terme is in die antwoord? 1, 2, 3 terme word geskei deur plus en minne. Dalende magte? Yes. Right. What are the like terms here? AB. A like term to AB would be that AB. Dis die gelyksoortige terme met presies identiese veranderlikes. Hoe tel julle bymekaar? Die koëffisiënte 1 minus 4 is minus 3. Minus 3 wat? Nog steeds AB. When you add, the variable stays the same. So it's that amount of AB's, that amount of AB's is a certain amount still of AB's. As jy optel, bly die veranderlike dieselfde. Soveel AB's en soveel AB's bly 'n sekere hoeveelheid AB's. Dan sit ek met a kwadrate. En daar's nog 'n enetjie wat ek amper gemis het. There are 3 terms that are like with the a square, so we add the coefficients. 6 minus 2 is 4, plus 3 gives me 7, a to the 2. Tel die koëffisiënte 6, minus 2 is 4, plus die 3 is 7, nog steeds a kwadraat. Don't do anything with the variables, you only add the coefficients. En dan sit ons met b kwadrate. If we add those two like terms by adding the coefficients, 5 minus 1 is 4, plus 4, b tot die mag 2. Now the question said, write it in descending powers of a. So the first one that must be there with the highest exponent would be this one, 7a squared. The second highest exponent of a, well there is no a, so the exponent is 0. Die tweede ene sou gewees het a tot die mag 1, wat dan min 3a tot die 1b is. Do you see it? A to the 2, a to the 1. Then comes the one that has no a, so the exponent for a is 0. 2, 1, 0 for the exponents of a. Nou sy en dalende magte. Is there a difference between those two answers? No, it's only the order. And I did it because they asked me for it. Otherwise that would have been perfect. Nog een nou? Daar is a tot die mag 2. Kom ons doen dit maar soos wat dit hier staan. A tot die mag 2, a tot die mag 2. Get your technique right. Take your highlight pen and make them all pink, for instance. So we've got it when we add them. Coefficients, 2. Coefficients, minus 1. Coefficient, 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1, plus 2 is 3. 3 what? Still a square. Apples and apples stay apples. Dan sit ek met die a tot die mag 3. Another a to the 3 would be plus 4 and minus 6 is minus 2a. 3 het dan net die koëffisiënte by mekaar. 4 minus 6 is minus 2. Kom ons vat die kwadrate. Oh, ek het hom gemis. Oh, I did it wrong. Do you see it? I missed that one, and now that I'm looking for it, it's wrong. So let me just do this again. I know you sat there and you thought to yourself, oh, you see. Ma'am, you did make a mistake. I did. But at least we're getting there. Okay, so actually there were 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that were like terms. So it was 2a squared minus 1 is 1a squared. Minus 3 is minus 2a squared. And plus 2a squared is no a squared. Moet dit daar staan? No, if there's nothing, it's nothing. You can leave it away. So let's just make double sure now. So it's 2 minus 1 is 1. Minus 3 is minus 2. Plus 2 gives me 0 a squared. If you write that, it's perfect. But you have to know that eventually that answer is 0. And do you have to write the 0? No. Can you? Yes. All right, let's get back to the 3. So that was still minus 2a to the 3. And then we're left with the last two, plus a, and plus a is plus how many a's? 1, and 1 gives me 2a. And I need you to focus on the rule that says like terms, you add the coefficients and the variables stay what they were. Oh, and I almost forgot. Is it in descending powers? Is it in dalende magte? Mag 3, mag 1 to the power 3 to the power 1? Yes, it's in descending order. Okay, and then question number 3 said, subtract this from this. Trek off hierdie van daai. Very important. So what is subtracted from what? This from that means 4y must be first, and I'm subtracting this from it. Now, as ek sê trek hom af, dit van dit, dan moet hy eerste staan. Maar as ek sê trek hom af, dan beteken dit trek hierdie een af. How do I write minus this one? So it's minus of minus 5y. So ek vat hom en ek trek af 'n minus. Trek off a minus. I'm subtracting a minus. Make sure that you've got that right. So that word subtract is there. Daar staan trek off vir min 5a. Then I've got a minus times a minus, that is a plus. Min maal a min is a plus, because brackets mean multiplication. En jou antwoord, ons is weer by gelyksoortige terme, tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar, geef jou 9 wat se goeders? Nie y kwadraat nie, just 9. Don't start adding exponents together. You're adding like terms, only add the coefficients. As jy gelyksoortige terme optel, tel jy net die koëffisiënte bymekaar. Goed, so wat van wat? This is the most important thing with all of these 4 that I gave you for homework. Which from which? So from this one, minus 3x squared must come this one. So dit moet jy aftrek van daai ene, so hy moet eers kom en dan trek ek hom af. How do I subtract that one? Minus the 2x squared. Now you can leave it in a bracket, or you didn't have to put it in a bracket. I think it's safer, because otherwise you wouldn't forget it there. So nou is daar nog steeds 3x kwadraat minus 2x kwadraat, skies is 'n minus. that one, and then minus times a plus stays a minus. If you didn't write the brackets, it wouldn't be wrong. En kan ek hierdie bymekaar tel? Can I add them? Yes, they are like terms. It's going to be a certain amount of x squares. And if it's 0, then you just don't write anything. The answer then is 0. Okay, but minus 2 and minus 3 gives me minus 5. Die coëffisiënte min 3 en min 2 geef my minus 5. Please make sure that you've got your equal signs. We're doing maths accurately. Don't just write a bit here, write a bit there. Goed, ons wil dit van dit aftrek, so dit kom eerste. And then I subtract the minus a square b, sorry. So ek wil van dit af hierdie aftrek. Dit aftrek van dit af. I want to subtract this from that. So that comes first and then that one. And if you want to put it in a bracket first, that's right. And then you've got minus 2 and minus 1 gives me minus 3 of the a square b's. Don't do something to that. They like terms and I add the coefficients and that's all. Dit van dit, so the first thing you write is that bit and you must subtract this from it. So how do I subtract a minus? Subtract a minus. It's just good policy not to write it this way. Put it in a bracket. So we're subtracting a negative number. Jy trek af 'n negatiewe getal. And that will give you nothing happening here, but you've got the equal, you've got that. Skryf stap vir stap. Moenie goed weggooi nie. Min maal 'n min is plus 6x uit tot die derde mag. Kan ek hierdie goed bymekaar tel? Because if this one was a square, then you would stop here. Because you can't add anything else. And then that's the answer. An expression with two terms. Wat's nou weer 'n twee-term antwoord? 'n binomial. Binomial, three-term answer. Trinomial, drie-term antwoord is 'n trinoom. Wat is 'n een-term antwoord? 'n mononoom of 'n mononoom, reg? Maar hierdie is toe gelyksoortig. Tel die koëffisiënte op. Min 4 en plus 6 gee vir my plus 2x uit tot die mag 3. Goed, ek gaan nie nou vir jou eintlik iets verskriklik anders leer nie, maar die manier van vra kan baie keer bietjie snaaks wees, want in die handboek in oefening 8.3 sê hulle vir jou, tel die volgende uitdrukkings bymekaar. Uitdrukking en uitdrukking en uitdrukking. Hulle het 'n komma-punt so tussenin gesit. They put a semicolon in between and said, add the following expressions. This is an expression, dis 'n uitdrukking. En daai is 'n uitdrukking, this is also an expression. And that is also an expression. So they're saying add them together. Logical thing to do is to then say, take the 5m squared minus the 4mn plus the 7n squared. And if you're adding, it's just adding that whole thing. So add the minus 10m squared plus mn and add the 7m squared minus the 10n squared. So as ek vir jou sê, daar's 3 uitdrukkings tel bymekaar, dan wel jy kan nog steeds hierdie een ook daar gaan sit. The brackets aren't really necessary because the plus times all of them is still going to stay the same value. As ek die plus hiervoor in gaan maak, gaan 'n plus maal 'n min nog steeds 'n min bly. 'n plus maal 'n plus nog steeds 'n plus by. The plus times the plus is going to stay a plus, plus times a minus is going to stay a minus. But rather safe than sorry. They're giving you 3 expressions that you've got to add, so put them all in brackets. Easiest thing to do. So eintlik mors ek my tyd so klein bietjie. I'm wasting a little bit of my time by saying, okay, well, that just means 5m squared minus 4mn plus 7n squared. Plus times a minus is going to be a minus. Plus times a plus stays a plus. Plus maal 'n plus bly 'n plus. Plus maal 'n min is a min. So do you see what I'm saying? If you're adding them all together, you can just as well put them all next to each other and add them. Good techniques, better techniques for later on, maybe to keep them in the brackets. Maar dit bly nog steeds die huiswerk wat jy vandag gehad het. It's the same as the work you did for today. Adding this is adding the like terms. Jy moet net die gelyksoortiges bymekaar gaan kry deur te sê m kwadrate kom by m kwadrate. En dit gee vir jou dan 5 en 7. Adding the coefficients is 12m squared. Don't start doing something to the m squared. Like terms add the coefficients. Gelyksoortige terme tel die koëffisiënte op. Vir die mn'e en die mn'e bymekaar te tel, minus 4 en plus 1, minus 4 en plus 1 gee minus 3 mn. stays the same thing, mn. Dan sit ek met my n kwadrate. Daar's n kwadraat, daar's n kwadraat, daar's n kwadraat. Please use your color, whatever method that you can see where the like terms are. How do you add the like terms? The coefficients. Hoe tel ek gelyksoortige terme bymekaar? Tel die koëffisiënte op. So plus 7 en min 10 is min 3 en nog min 10 is min 13. 7 minus 10 is minus 3 and minus 10 is minus 13. What? Still n to the power. So there's nothing new here. It's just the way that they asked it. So now I want to show to you another alternative. So when you've written that down, I'm going to do the sum again. Ons doen dit nie sommer in ons klasse nie, maar in die handboek is daar so 'n voorbeeld. Example in the textbook just before exercise 8.3, they do it this way as well. Just so you see it, when you've seen it, you know you can do it that way. Wat jy mos kan doen is jy kan mos getalle onder mekaar sit. If I ever told you in primary school to say 2, 3, 1, 4, added by 102, added by 3006, add them like that so that you can have 12, carry on. Is jy met my wat ek sê? So met ander woorde, jy tel dit so onder mekaar. I can also use that same technique with expressions. Jy kan dieselfde tegniek gebruik met hierdie uitdrukkings. Nou goed, ek het die eerste uitdrukking klaar hier neergeskryf. Nou gaan ek die ander een onder hom neerskryf. But now the thing to do is you must put them together as they appear. Dit gaan nie help ek skryf die min 10 n kwadraat hier nie. Ek wil die gelyksoortiges onder mekaar hê. Mense gaan dit vir jou een keer wys. Jy gaan dit nie so doen nie. I'm going to show this to you once. You're not going to do it this way, you're going to do it the way I showed you just now. But there is an alternative and I would like you to know about it, but we're not going to do it that way. Net sodat jy weet. So waar hoort daai min 10 n kwadraat? Where does the minus 10 n square? Where must I put it? Where does it belong? Underneath there. So minus 10 n square belongs there. Waar hoort die mn? By hierdie ene. So mn hoort hier. Well, you can even put a plus mn there if you want to, but there's nothing in front of it, so you don't have to put it there. Just that term, that expression is now over there. Kom ons sit die derde een hier onder in die derde rytjie. So the first one goes in the first row, the second one in the second row, the third one in the third row. Maar jy moet dit onder mekaar sorteer. So daai 7m kwadraat kom dan nou hier. Waar hier niks gestaan het nie, maar hier kom 7m kwadraat. En dan waar gaan jy daai 10n kwadraat skryf? Under the n square. So minus 10n square. Reg? So nou tel ek hulle by mekaar. En dit gaan dan vir my gee 12, want ek tel nog steeds die koëffisiënte by mekaar. 12m kwadraat minus 3mn, because I'm still adding minus 4 and plus 1, and then I'm adding 7, minus 10 is minus 3, minus 10 is minus 13n square. Dit was dalk nie in daai volgorde gewees nou die vorige keer nie, want hulle het ook nie vir my gesê dalende magte, stygende magte nie. They never told me in which order they wanted it. So it might not have been in this specific order. I think it was though. Maar dit bly nog steeds dieselfde antwoord. Now I just wanted to show you one example how you can put it underneath each other, but it can be confusing. You must make them sure that the ones underneath each other are like terms. Jy moet net seker maak hulle is onder mekaar. Dis net 'n voorbeeld, onthou jy het dit in die laerskool gedoen so? Like you did it in primary school, adding underneath each other. Look at the example there, but we're not going to do it this way. Okay, so dit voel ook vir jou asof ons dieselfde werk weer 'n keer doen en jy's 100% reg. Trek ietsie van ietsie af, dan beteken dit wat kom eerste. So if I say subtract this from this, then the 3a plus 7 must come first and subtract. Maar nou moet jy daai hele ding aftrek. The most important thing is, it must be the whole thing. 5a min 3 in 'n hakkie. And if you keep it in brackets, then you're perfectly on your way. Because now, next step will be time in the bracket, remember? So a minus times a plus is a minus, and a minus times a minus is a plus. 5a en 3. En niks het hier voor gebeur nie. Nothing happened here, but it's still there. And now, it's normal adding. Add the like terms by adding the coefficients. 3 Minus 5 is minus 2a, tel die koëffisiënte bymekaar en die konstant is 3 en 7 gee vir my 10. The constant numbers, 3 and 7 gives me 10. And this answer is a two-term answer, a binomial answer. Hierdie antwoord is 'n twee-term antwoord, jy kan niks verder aan dit doen nie. Dan net vir interessantheid, if it confuses you, please don't even write it down. The alternative that we are not doing is to say, if I want to do it like in primary school, and I want to subtract this one from that one, then that one's got to be at the top, and that one must be at the bottom. And now I'm going to confuse you, so please don't do it this way. So if I say this must be subtracted, then this should now be negative. And if you subtract a negative, it's going to become a positive. You're going to write this, you don't even write it down, because I'm going to confuse you. I know you're confused. So if you do that, you've got 3 minus 5 is minus 2a. And if you add the plus 7 and the plus 3, you get plus 10, which is exactly the same answer. But I didn't want to even use more than 30 seconds to do that, just so you know that there is such a technique. But it confuses you, because if I say that you must subtract, what does it mean? You must subtract the positive, and subtract the negative becomes a plus. So if you do it that way, basically what it means is all these signs will change. If it was a plus, it will become a minus. If it was a minus, it becomes a plus. As jy hom op hierdie manier wil doen, basies beteken dit, trek af. Trek af 'n positief beteken hy word 'n negatief, en trek af 'n negatief word 'n positief. So al die onderste goed se tekens verander. Ons promoveer glad nie hierdie tegniek nie, want kinders word verskriklik te mekaar daarmee. I do not promote this technique at all, because it confuses the heck out of the kids. But I did want to show you that there's not even an example like that in the textbook. So please don't even write it down if it's confusing to you. Maybe if you get 80 and 90%, you can think about writing it down. But you are not doing it that way. This is the way to do it. So as ek sê tel op, dan staan daar plus, hakie. If I say subtract, minus, bracket. So basically the same as what you've always had. There's just the minus in front that you must time it in and add them together. I'm going to write the homework on the board now. Goed, jou huiswerk dan is oefening 8.3, 1.8, 1.10, 2.2, 2.5, 2.9, 2.10. Hier is allemaal aftreksomme, and these are adding sums. So what they say is add this to this, then you just put them next to each other with a plus in the bracket. If I say second one, subtract it from the first one, you write minus and the bracket. Please do not do this. This was once in a lifetime that I showed it to you. If you don't have this in your book, it's perfect. I don't want you to do it this way. Hou by wat jy geleer is. Minus voor 'n hakie, which will mean that you just time in the bracket. A minus times a minus is a plus, and a minus times a plus is a minus. A plus maal 'n min is 'n min, en 'n min maal 'n min is 'n plus. Dat jy daai tekens net moet onthou.